Good day, Ma'am Myra and classmates. I am Shalimar Guardian. I'm from Group 3, and I will be discussing to you the concepts in decision making of the decision support systems in Module 5. An understanding of the decision making process is an obvious prerequisite for an effective decision support system design. For us to understand the decision making process, let's have a quick recap in Module 1. In Module 1, we have learned that there are different levels of management in performing decision making. These are strategic level, tactical level, and operational level. We are going to use a software development company in applying the different levels of management as an example. In the strategic level, managers are tasked to identify long-term strategies and to formulate policies for the organization. For example, the managers in the strategic level of a software development company would want to see the organization as a leader in software development within the next 3 years. The next one is tactical level. Managers in the tactical level implement these strategies and policies through the identification of tasks that need to be accomplished. Managers formulate long-term plans and policies for the organization. As an example, seeing that this can be accomplished if the organization had the best programmers are identified by the managers in the tactical level, wherein they will be able to identify skill upgrading for the company's programmers as a course of action to be able to obtain the title of being the leader in software development, which was created in the strategic level. The next one is the operational level. Managers in the operational level are expected to complete these specific tasks through the utilization of the organization's resources, like the human resources in the non-management level. Managers in the operational level complete and implement the tactical projects. As an example, managers in the operational level then facilitates the conduct of training for the organization's programmer in order to upgrade their skills. In Module 5, the effective decision support system design has been discussed. We will start with Herbert Simon. Herbert Simon made key contributions to enhance our understanding of the decision-making process. Simon postulated the distinct stages in making a decision, which he called intelligence, design, choice, and implementation phase. In decision theory, Herbert Simon's contributions were created on his book, The New Science of Management Decisions. And Simon's model was presented in 1979, but his original work did not include implementation because this was added later on by Sprague and Carlson in 1982. The Sprague and Carlson model consists of a data, a model, and a dialogue of components, which when manipulated and integrated with each other could come up with an information for a decision support system. The stages in decision making, intelligence, design, choice, and implementation, discusses the questions: is there a problem for intelligence? Then what are the alternatives so we can do for design? Which should you choose in performing the alternatives? And is the choice working for implementation? So these are the questions that is being answered with the stages in decision making. Intelligence stage is where the decision maker gathers information on the problem area, which informs about its scope and implications. The next one is design. This is the stage where the alternative courses of action are identified and the outcomes or consequences of each alternative are determined. Next one is choice, which is the stage where it involves the selection of one alternative action based on the decision maker's preferences for the associated consequences. And lastly, implementation, which is the stage where the decision is put into effect. Simon's model in 1979 doesn't include implementation, but the one that was added by Sprague and Carlson created these stages in decision making, wherein it discusses the three major components of the decision support system, which will be discussed later on here in Module 5 as well, uh, which are the model-based component, database component, and human interface component. As you can see, Sprague and Carlson used Simon's model, wherein from intelligence to design, they created this as a model validation in the model-based as one of the model-based component for the of the decision support system. And then the next one is choice, wherein solution testing is created. This falls into the database component. And then for implementation and outcome, here lies the human interface component of the decision support system, which is we will be able to see whether there is a failure or success in the whole decision making process. So basically, this is the reality of a situation in every process or management process. This approach of Simon formed the basic of the economic man, which is the decision analysis concepts, and it involves the three conditions. Number one is in any decision or situation, the decision maker is faced with a number of different identifiable alternative courses of action. And then the second condition is to each alternative, there is attached a set of outcomes or consequences. And then the third condition is the decision maker has a preference system which facilitates the ranking of outcomes, thus resulting in making of the right decision. So this is where this Simon's model and was created and revised by Sprague and Carlson to be able to comply with the economic man approach. After discussing the stages that was created by Simon, the management information and decision support system can now be compared. So for a decision support system, it must provide information on the different alternatives, and support managers will be able to solve typical semi-structured and structured types of decisions involved in tactical and strategic level of the organization. And for the management information systems, it provides raw information that needs further processing to produce the alternatives, and are designed to support structured types of decisions involved in operational and tactical planning and control. Decision categories. Problems in the organization cover a wide spectrum of complexity, and naturally they affect different groups or levels of personnel. That's why Gorey and Morton define two-dimensional categorization of decision. And these are with the first dimension and second dimension. First dimension relates to the part of the organization affected by the particular problem, and the second dimension relates to the degree of structure and hence the amount of uncertainty involved in the problem. I will be discussing first dimension to you, and the second dimension will be discussed by my classmate, Mr. Daniel Pablo. First dimension, there are three levels of decisions that falls under this category. It is the same with the different levels of management. So this is going to be easy for us to understand. So number one is strategic level, tactical level, and operational level. Strategic level. The managers in the strategic level concentrates almost entirely on the wider range of issues involving the performance of the organization in the medium to long term. The next one is the tactical level. The management in the tactical level are more concerned with short to medium term implications within the tactical area of the organization, taking into account performance at the operational level. And in the operational level, managers in the operational level are concerned with fairly standardized decision-making tasks, much of which can be automated. This is an example of the two-dimensional categorization of decision. Basically, the categories or the levels of decision that fall under the first dimension is also called the management levels, which is the same as what was discussed in Module 1, which is strategic, operational, and tactical is also called management. The second dimension is the degree of problem structure, which is structured, semi-structured, and unstructured, which will be discussed later on. As an example, for operational control or operational level and structured levels, these are used for accounts receivable, order entity, and inventory control. For management control or tactical control level, which are structured, these are used for budget analysis, engineered cost, short-term forecasting. And for strategic planning, structured strategic planning, these are used for tanker fleets, warehouse, and factory location. If you can see, semi-structured examples are always in the middle. So basically, they are performing most of the structured and unstructured degree of problem. So for operational control, unstructured degree of problem, these are used for production scheduling, cash management, PERT, and CPM systems. And for management control, unstructured, these are used for variance analysis, overall budget preparation, sales, and production. And for strategic planning, unstructured, these are used for mergers and acquisition, new product planning, and research and development planning. To apply this in a, let's say, a software or an auto part company, these are the given cells in the matrix. For the decision categories, operational, mostly structured, well, basically you will see that in the operational, mostly structured, there's going to issue an order request for an auto part whose stock level is 0. Tactical, mostly structured, increases the stock level of an auto part because of anticipated demand. And strategic, mostly structured, increases the stock level of an auto part because of a new law on imports. For operational, semi-structured, this is where the management will decide on whether to accept a delivery or not. For tactical, semi-structured, this is where changes in order patterns due to the opening of several new competitors will be done. And for strategic, semi-structured types, these are maybe to close a branch due to low sales and very high local taxes. And then for operational, mostly unstructured, this is where we order a new auto part that is not part of the current inventory. And for tactical, mostly unstructured, the order of a new auto part due to a numerous inquiry on its availability can be done. And for strategic, mostly unstructured, this is where the management can open a new type of service aside from selling auto parts. So basically, the decisions are all made using or can be made using the decision categories as per below. So these are the references that where I have researched most of the information with the concept and decision making. Second dimension will be discussed by my classmate Daniel Pablo, and thank you for listening.